Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds, by nerds, hanging out with my nerds.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nathan Nerdarchy.
And today we're going to be talking about the untouchable magic items that a DM will never allow in his game because they're completely game unbalancing and breaking, or some such thing. As per seen on OSG, Ted had seen a post or something about
Yeah, it's
that.
talking about, don't give out invisibility cloaks because they can, break encounters or have people skip encounters. And I'm like, of all the things to give out, that's not game breaking. There's spells that go into that.
Well, I would also like to include things
But
I just
before you do,
wanna
let me
have
interrupt
in
you.
the game.
To let these fine folks to know that if they want to join into Nerdarchy, the newsletter, they can go in the description below, click the link, drop in their email and name, and they will get nerdy tips delivered right to their inbox on a weekly basis. Not to mention, they will learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so I was thinking that we were also including ideas of weapons or things we just wouldn't have that we would never give it out, basically, because we don't like.
Or
it.
we'd think
we
twice
We don't
about
like
it.
because we don't like it.
Basically, let's just complain about magic items. I feel like
Yeah, okay, magic items we don't like, or magic items that are game breaking.
Just don't give them out in general.
Game breaking or things that you wouldn't give out for a reason that you'll explain. There's plenty of
Well, you
magic
poo-poo
items.
the you think A-OK invisibility.
I don't have a
cloak.
problem with the
which one
invisibility
don't you
cloak.
like?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the invisibility cloak because there are spells that duplicate those effects.
Yeah.
So
Low-level spells.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like really, there are spells or even the skill stealth can allow you to circumvent encounters. There's some DMs out there that they think, well, I need to throw in combat because it's super part of the game, and therefore if I make a combat, you have to fight it. End of story.
It's what players crave.
Yeah, it is. It's like the
So-
Brondo of the Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons.
So I'm like, you know what? I don't have a problem with the invisibility cloak, but there are other things that make the DMs.
So do you have a
job.
no-go item?
I don't think there's anything that's completely off limits. I think things that create a challenge. For me, I would say one of my favorite items as a player, but the don't give out as a DM, would be the Daeron's Instant Fortress.
Okay.
Number one, it has the ability to expand and create an area effect damaging ability that is able to be used as often as you
I
want.
only have a problem with it if it's used in a magic sling. Other than that, I'm good.
And I would say with that, it's an effect that doesn't really need to be there. It could be a little semi-instantaneous fortress and not crush people to death.
Like the cartoon version where instead of a wah wah wah, it's like wah wah wah.
Yeah.
And then on top of
a
that,
little more PG creation of fortress. All
and
right.
then on top of that, you've got, I don't want to say it's a nearly indestructible fortress, but it's pretty hard to bring that thing down, and therefore once the players have it, the
You have a
safety-
siege encounter. You basically have a siege encounter of your 4 to 6 players versus whatever they're fighting, and it's a siege, and
Right.
that's not very fun.
Well, I mean, it creates the safety net of, okay, well,
I can long rest wherever.
Well,
the hell I
yeah,
want.
yeah,
exactly. And that's the-
So that's kind of breaking, and actually, it was also my item as well, because the first time the players read, it can be used when you proceed to command world to deal 10d10 whenever I want. Like, yeah, that's a huge problem because you Wile E. Coyote, Anvil.
What was it? Oh, once a day item.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah.
I don't have it memorized off the top of my
As
head.
an action, let's see. You can make it appear as an action, and
What about you? Read quietly. What about you, Nate? What are your go-tos?
Yeah, my two are, Luck Blade, because you get wishes.
So Ring of Wishes would fall in the same category?
Oh, yeah, put that in the same category as
Okay.
well. I would say if it's got one. You can get one wish, but I'm not letting you get 2 or 3 or 4. I don't.
What if I wish for more wishes?
Boom! Negatory. A genie comes up and goes right out of nowhere, and it's like, there, enjoy your wish.
Didn't you see Aladdin? You can't wish for more wishes.
Well, no, but you could totally wish for someone to come back to the dead, and they'd be fine.
Oh, and there's
Well, yeah,
absolutely no limitations on the instant fortress as far as
Perfect.
like summoning it. Great.
Correct.
Yeah, you drop it down, pick it up.
I would have let me
Yeah,
my
yeah,
game.
yeah.
I don't care.
So
You
yeah,
could use
so
the instant fortress as a damn siege weapon. You just throw it at somebody's walls, let it sprout.
if you're 18th or whatever level wizard and you find the wish spell and you get it, and I would let them get it. But I mean there's a lot of restrictions on that. While having it
At a lower level.
at a lower level, or even having it as a higher level and just being able to wish for stuff without putting all the like 18 levels of wizard to get that sucker. It just doesn't feel right.
So, like, here's the caveat to every item you put in a game. You have to consider the ramifications of what it's going to do to your game. You know, the item that I've seen wreak the most havoc in any game is the deck of many things.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, it's as a DM, it's really fun to put out there, but man, like if you're
That could really end your game really quick.
in several ways. Like you can have really bad things happen to your players, and like it ends the game for them. Or you could have really cool things that happen for the players that give them stuff that they were in no way capable of getting before, and it's completely random.
It's just encouraging gambling addiction.
It
Because
really
good
is.
things could happen. But you
Really,
could also die.
what Nate's saying is the luckiest halfling or half man should find the deck of many things because he totally wants a chance at it.
If it's
Actually, it doesn't help because technically
it's not dice roll?
It's based off of a deck of cards.
oh, I would not touch that.
I mean, unless they've changed it in this edition, it's always been based off a standard playing deck.
Unless I was allowed to cheat, I wouldn't touch that thing.
So there's no dice rolling involved. So you know, the special feature for the diviner wouldn't help.
Uh-huh. Neither would the lucky feat.
Neither would the
Halfling bonus of not rolling a 1, because you know death would be the 1. If you had to roll a d20, you would get the death card on a 1.
Well, you know, it doesn't mean you die. It just means you have to fight death.
Yeah, as a diviner.
Doesn't he only have 60 hit
Who
points?
wants to do that?
Doesn't Death only have 60 hit
I ain't got
points?
time for that. I got other stuff to do.
Although, you know what, though? Like, somebody with, like, the lucky feat, like, spending luck points, I would, like, let them take 2 draws and choose which of the 2 or whatever. Like, they could spend a luck point.
Yeah, but you're expanding the...
You have to
what
spend
it
the
could
resource.
do, yeah. I mean, well, no, you're expanding what the lucky
absolutely,
feat could do.
absolutely. But, like, if it just ends with a die roll, you're not really
So
that lucky.
if Ryan was the DM for that, I would definitely try it. But
Yeah.
Be like,
not if it was
8
Dave.
draws. 8
8
draws.
How many cards in there without death? Oh, there's like 8 or 10 or whatever. Okay.
All of them.
Hey.
There is like a lot of really
Yeah.
cool stuff. Like it rains diamonds. You know, like you get stat bonuses, get a keep.
Wow, get a keep.
The keep
Yeah.
could just
Could I
fall
put it
in.
on my spaceship?
Like I
Because if I
remember,
could put a keep on my spaceship.
drawing and getting the keep, getting a 4th level fighter hireling, and then drawing something. Oh, one of your hirelings will betray you.
He's just like,
And he's
he
like,
takes out a
way
sword
better
for
than
you, and then he turns it around and stabs you in the back.
yeah.
Like, no, I just got you.
So that is the one that takes a lot of consideration, in my opinion, before you put in your game, because it's going to wreak havoc one way or another.
Yeah. Well, and because it's completely random. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
now you had said something off camera about the Sphere of Annihilation.
Sphere of Annihilation. Actually, the Sphere of Annihilation isn't nearly as potent as it used to be.
It is pretty classic. Though.
It just does a lot of damage. Like 4 die 10 if you bump it into somebody, and it takes a DC 25 intelligence check or Arcana check to control it.
Which, mind you, deals less damage than dropping the instant fortress. The Sphere of Annihilation does less damage than an instant
And you
fortress.
have the chance of bumping into someone who's better at controlling it than you are.
Yeah, there's that. Now the
And then he
caveat
bumps
to
into
that,
you a
if it
few
is
times.
something that is
Bump,
small
bump,
enough
bump.
to actually completely fit in the Sphere of Annihilation, like you cast shrink first or reduce on someone first, then you hit them with the Sphere of Annihilation. Because if they actually fit in it, they're just done.
It's like a dark Pokeball.
Yeah, it's the Pokeball you never get back out of. But overall, I don't think most of this stuff is going to be so great game breaking. I can't figure it out. The real problem isn't in the items; it's when you give it to the players. Like there's a huge difference between a 1st level character getting one of these items we discussed and a 20th level.
That is definitely a true point. If you're playing a 20th level,
They can duplicate
game,
almost anything that's
Right.
in there.
Yeah, and for my second one that I don't like, the Korpal Sword, when you're 20th level, one of the restrictions is if it's too large that you can't cut its head off with the sword, then
Yeah.
it just does extra damage. And if it has legendary actions, you can't use it on it.
So
or
that's
if it
pretty
wouldn't
awesome.
care if you cut its head off. So there's you're fighting a lot of stuff that doesn't actually care if you cut its head off, that has legendary actions, or is just too freaking big to cut its head off. So any little guy, roll your 20 and chop that orc's head off. I don't care. but don't kill my dragon in one shot.
Yeah.
And
Or my archmage that should have legendary actions and cannot be killed with a boar.
So it's just for going back to the Instant Fortress, I just think it's so cartoony. Like, it's game breaking in that sort of scope and theme that you're solving everything with a ridiculous play. Like that's
It's
what
like
annoys
do
me
a
the
sex
most.
every single time. Like do a Mahina every single time.
Well, it's just there's something so unepic about just dropping. You're basically doing the Wicked Witch of the West, sort of like dropping a house on everything, and there's something so anti-epic about that.
well, the thing on the other side, as the DM, if you've goofed up and you've given out this item and the players are constantly doing that, then the next time that they drop it, the ground just can't handle the pressure, and you wind up causing a sinkhole, a chasm, an earthquake.
Well,
something happens.
Does there have to be enough space for it to open?
It
It forces
pushes
its way.
things.
And
out
it
of
does
its way.
No,
take
I mean,
damages
if
at
you're
some point.
in a tunnel.
Oh yeah, it will totally crush everything, and
It could just cause a cave-in and maybe
Yeah.
murder the party.
yeah.
Or when you shrink it back down, it might all the stuff that you pushed out of the way.
Yeah, it's on
collapse.
top of it.
Yeah, I mean, all rules are going to all physics rules are going to apply. It's an adamantium tower that's 20 by 20 and 30 foot tall.
That counts
So-
as a structure, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you have something
A siege
that,
monster.
Siege
the
monsters.
siege monsters,
do double damage to
and it only gets repaired on wish, I think.
Yes,
right?
it takes a wish to repair it.
Yeah, so I mean that's a big deal. So hey, you already gave him a fortress, beat the heck out of it, and then be like, well, it looks like
You,
you
you
have to find
play
the luck blade,
you play
sucker.
the D&D version of Rampage on it.
Yeah,
the arcade game.
just cracking that right in half.
Yeah, well, yeah, I kind of feel like if you keep using it over and over again, eventually it's going to take enough damage.
Yeah,
Yes.
something's going to beat it up enough. Yeah.
Because if you have no way to repair it, you're kind of boned.
Right.
And if you and
And I also feel like if you open it in a tunnel, it's going to take damage from that. I would
Really,
say,
what you do is you make all your tunnels 20 feet, 25 feet high.
Well,
so
they're
it's
going to be that anyway.
point that to the
If you're
party.
using it in a dungeon or inside, I feel like it's going to do whatever damage it does to other things,
It's
it'll
gonna
do to
take it,
itself.
yeah.
If you use it in confined spaces.
Right.
So-
So I've taken this as my item for starting characters that have been in the 10 plus levels, and I try not to abuse that power.
You're a liar. You took it just for that power.
it has a lot of other cool
Yeah,
powers.
him and 3 other people in one of Scott's game all took Darren into Fortress, and they all took it to use it for a weapon. Don't care what Ted says.
I've used it as a weapon, but the primary purpose was to have
to survive
shelter.
Scott's game is what it was. That was primary
Guys, in the
purpose.
comments below, you let us know. Do you think Ted took that primarily as a weapon or as a shelter?
You decide.
While you're at it, share, subscribe.
You can follow us over on Instagram.
You can come over to Facebook and check out some funny memes.
Let's check out the articles over at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.